What's good, YouTube land? How about back-to-back black repaints? Black to black, never mind. With a release that would have come out of nowhere if it wasn't leaked like almost everything is these days. It's freaking Crasher. In the Walmart exclusive mostly repaints line. Well, fair enough. It is a black repaint. Like, all right, we got a picture of Crasher. These lovely boxes. Crasher's alt mode. There's the rest of that picture of her. There's another picture of her yelling. And there's some pictures of the toy, of course. So here is Crasher in all her glory, I guess. And I think the first thought that goes through people's mind is Crasher isn't a Transformer. She's a GoBot. Yes, technically, she is a GoBot. But ostensibly, she has been incorporated into Transformers lore, sort of, via the means of black repaints of toys. Because, yes, this is not the first Transformers representation of Crasher. In Universe 2, I believe, there was also a deluxe Mirage that got repainted, but at that point she was named Fracture to try and, only homage the character because I'm guessing Hasbro didn't have the rights at the time. But I think at this point Hasbro owns ownership of the rights of the GoBots. I'm not 100% on that, but I think they might. And yeah, why not use the name? So ostensibly what we have here is the Kingdom version of Mirage, which I did not get. But here, let's give you a base comparison to the Siege version. Things are definitely different. There's a lot of remolding. Thank God they got rid of the translucent plastic. Like, the transformation is slightly different. The chest is different. The shoulder pads are different. The arms are different. There's very little that's actually the same. Like, the crotch is the same, the feet, and kind of the way the legs transform are pretty much the only things that are the same. So I'm glad I actually get a chance to check out the Earthrise version of this mold, because I didn't get the Decepticon or the purple Netflix version of Mirage, nor did I really want the all translucent crystal version of Mirage that came in the 2-pack with Impactor. But that Impactor head sculpt was pretty good. Honestly, this guy's not really held up the best. His legs are a little bit floopy. Like, so I don't really want to play with him that much. But Crasher, I definitely want to play with, because this is, I think, one of the very first times I've ever messed with a remold that's actually more sturdy than the other version of the mold. Like, there is absolutely nothing floppy at all about Crasher. But let's actually check out some details. First off, the head, besides being the right colors for Crasher, it throws me for a bit. And I didn't understand why until I actually looked at what Crasher is supposed to look like. So if I just quickly load up, like, I want to look, I should have done this ahead of time, but I forgot. There we go. Like, if that is essentially Crasher's GoBot animation, we'll save the GoBots and Machine Wars for another day. But like, if you notice, like, that the colors are right, the pink and the yellow, but this face, it doesn't have the right emotion for Crasher. Now, mind you, I don't know basically nothing about GoBots. I've never watched it. Wasn't born in 1983. I just know very tiny pieces of it from extenuous other sources like TF Wiki and other toy reviewers. But like this figure does not quite capture the insanity that face sculpt implies. Like this is, I think Crasher is the lead female baddie of the GoBots. She's the renegades, the evil GoBots are called. So she's like the second in command behind Psykill, I believe. Like she's manic, she's insane, and this face, it just kind of looks wrong. Like it's the right shape. Like her face is very flat. Her like it's definitely there. It's using the more toy accurate version of the Mirage head sculpt as opposed to this sort of cartoon looking smooth pretty boy face. But if you even look at the um like the toy, the Machine Wars, I don't know the name of it, but the toy that would become Crasher. Yeah, I have an image somewhere. There you go. Like, well, this doesn't read as female. Like, you can see where they came from, where they're like, okay, that face just won't work. I just wanted to. So, like, and also, her face kind of looks like she's got some scarring. That would make sense if she's been in a war for a long time. Face wise, what else do we got? Yeah, we got a good looking toy. I like how clean it is. Besides the tiny bits of kibble in the backs of her shins. Ah. And this color scheme, it works. Like black and white and red is never not going to work. Throw in a bit of hot pink, different color, but this is my only pink shirt. And I can totally buy that it's a female character. Also, just other size comparison is a yoga posing override. I guess we'll do that. So there's another female character. It's a good time for female characters, especially in Transformers. Like multiple RCs on the shelf, Elita 1 having a solo release, Minerva, freaking Minerva, Crasher, Override, even go back to Kingdom with Black Arachnia and Air Razor. And, like, there are a lot of female characters. Like, I think we deserve more. Uh, but, happy they're female characters because, you know, women can fight too. Just say, I don't think it. I'm going to leave that topic alone because it's very heavy. We're just going to move on to a comparison with my previous review, Shadow Strip, who I decided to show that he can hold a gun as a melee weapon. I don't know why, it's something I found funny. So yeah. How does this toy pose though? With a head that's ball jointed, can look up that much and look down that much. A little bit of side to side rocking. Always got to stretch your neck out. And, a good old exorcist swivel. Shoulders, universal joints. You can get the shoulder pad out of the way so it doesn't flex too much because I don't want it breaking. That's something that's not on the Siege mold, is actually rotatable shoulder pads. Mind you, I actually kind of like the joint system they used on the Siege a bit more, because if you unlock this, you can swing it forward for a butterfly joint, but it doesn't look good because it's way too high up. And that's something I didn't realize you could actually do in the Siege release, and it looks like it's in the proper spot. Another thing, actually, we'll talk about that when we get to accessories. But it can do it. It can also go back that far if you want. Pegging it back in. We do get a full 360. In and out. You do get a bicep swivel and a mushroom peg. Elbow 90 degrees. We rotate that back up. Nothing at the wrist, but you get a transformation hinge. You do get a waist swivel. I don't think this counts, but you can untab her transformation for almost an ab crunch. Or she can also bend that far back. Actually, she can bend further if you just keep. Like, she can bend all the way. And that's not even part of her transformation. Like, she doesn't need to go that far. She only needs to go, like, there for the transformation. So I totally count that as a point of posability, along with a very nice waist swivel. Hips that can go forward and back. Van Damme-itude. Yep. Or I guess female. Who is there a female martial artist on the level of Jean-Claude Van Damme? Ronda Rousey, maybe? Um, I'm trying to think of Chris Cyborg, maybe. Who is? I know who I'm thinking of. She's Amanda Nunes. That's who I was thinking of. But you do get a thigh swivel. You get a 90-degree knee bend. Yeah, I think that counts as 90, or maybe like 91. You get a full forward pivot, downward, much more for transformation, but you can use it, and a very deep ankle pivot. No swivel at the ankle, unfortunately, but yeah, very good posability. Very like kind of what you expect at this point. Like everything's there, nothing's missing. The ab crunch is a kind of nice touch, I guess. Still not sure on that, but what I am sure on is that the accessories aren't killing it as hard as I wish they were. But she is number one. Yes. So for accessories, she gets to knock over Megatron is down there. Just straight black versions of side Mirage's weaponry, which is very disappointing that she didn't get unique weapons of her own. But we can deal. The one thing I wish they didn't remold from Mirage, his shoulder ports. What the hell? This is Siege. This is Siege Megatron and G2 Megatron all over again. Or I guess Earthrise. Never mind. she can't plug it into her shoulder. So you just have to give her a handheld missile launcher. Mind you, that's a lot more badass. Just a fucking just like a one-handed RPG. That's fucking awesome. And as people have noted that something I completely missed in my review of Mirage, you can take the missile and shove it in her hand, and if you have, say, a long enough blast effect part, totally totally just made a lightsaber, which is a fine addition to my collection. My Grievous mask is nowhere to be seen. No. So, you can kind of Frankenstein. I kind of like that. It's kind of amusing, in a very me kind of way. And also, something I came across, you can plug her main gun into the uh, open port of the rocket launcher, and it almost creates like a sniper rifle. And she almost has enough posability to sort of achieve a sniper pose. It's kind of it's a little bit awkward, and she's going to be sort of shooting off. Oh no, wait, how do I do this? I can't remember how. Yes, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Uh, there. So she can sort of, almost. I don't know. I'm sure there are people that have figured out a better way to do this than I have. Actually, that's not half bad. I mean, she's sure shooting off to the side, but you know, you can still aim like that. Like these are things I wish I figured out in my Mirage review. But you know, freaking female sniper, that's awesome. Or I guess if you want to stay on sort of the Star Wars theme, she does have a port right back here, so she can totally Boba Fett a missile backpack, like female bounty hunter. I, how have we not had like a Star Wars story about a female bounty hunter yet? We've come close with the Mandalorian. Well, I mean, they're female bounty hunters. No, yes, not only female bounty hunters, but female Mandalorians. So she can totally fire a rocket out of her back. That is definitely an option. I think I prefer what the box does with the handheld rocket launcher, but you can also do that under sleeve it, which you can't actually do in the vehicle mode. It's specifically for the robot mode because these ports are unavailable after the transformation. So you can totally under sling some guns, shove a blast effect in her hand to also look like she might have a lightsaber, maybe. I'll put that on her back. Fuck you, I'm taking Mirage, you don't deserve a rocket launcher. There you go. Fully arm her up. Oh, she's also got ports on her shins. Another thing I've come across, I'm thinking about these missile launchers. Like, if you ever go back and watch the 84 cartoon, almost every character that has one on their shoulder never uses it. Now, mind you, it's probably like a one-time use. Like, they only have one rocket and they're horrible shots. So they don't want to use it unless they absolutely need to. they'll use their guns, which miss anyway. And you can stick a blast effect part on the end of. But, you know, that's just a little thing. But overall, this robot mode is very nice. It's a nice little, I'd say, side version of Mirage that is now a different character. Like, I'm very happy I picked this up, even though I kind of knew nothing about Crasher and I'd only known about the Mirage themed repaint like many years ago, but through a toy review that talked about it. But as soon as I saw it on the shelf, like, or even heard that it was available in Canada, I was like, I gotta have that because I really wanted the Earthrise version of this guy. This guy, this gal. Really wanted to check out another version of this because wasn't a fan of the all translucent one. The purple one was like, never really saw it much. So I kind of jumped at this, and I'm happy I did. But we now have to talk about the other half of it. So we'll get right into that in a smooth transition that I'm not good at. So we've stripped her of her weapons, and only her weapons. Get your mind out of the gutter. And now it's time to transform her, which is very similar to the Siege version, but the chest has some different little tricks. So we'll start by folding the wrists in, untabbing them, and we're going to rotate them backwards. That is a bit of a worrying snap, but it should be fine. Folding the wheels out of her back. Untab this little section right here. Fold her head in all the way. Make sure that's tabbed into place. Extend so it's locked in there. You can then bring the arms together and we'll deal with them in a second. Up to the legs. The legs are the exact same transformation. So rotate, hinge up, fold the foot in. You can rotate that out a bit. Get that locked into place. Fold that out completely. It's also going to tab in into these pieces. So do the same thing. Rotate up. Up. Come on. Fold out. There we go. Tab all the main body of the alt mode, of the car mode. And here, I guess, slightly different, just fold the arms down, fold the spoiler to the sides, so it tabs in, the arms tab in, and then they're supposed to just sit there flush, but like, this is my only nitpick with this version of the toy. Like, they just constantly bounce out of where they're supposed to sit. And it's kind of annoying. Yeah, oh well. We'll leave it at that. But there we have Crasher in her alt mode. And conveniently, her name is the main reason people watch F1, at least I think. It's for all the crashes. Yes, here is the Earth mode of the Siege Mirage mold. It's very nice. Um, well, it is a little bit simpler, you could say, in transformation when you compare it to its spacey cousin, mold sibling. Like the back end has been cleaned up, which is very nice. I appreciate just a flat back that won't ruin the aerodynamicism while it's mewing at high velocity. Um, this sort of the place for the driver to sit, that's new because this one doesn't need a driver because it's in space. The suspensions are different. I think the wheels are the same component. Like the suspensions and the little, like, I don't want to say mustache, but that's kind of what they look like, are different. Let's give you a shot of the underside to see just how much is different in this section. And yeah, she's got a nice silver Decepticon insignia right there because she didn't have one in robot mode. It wasn't visible, so at least we know it's an evil sports car. And you know, there's always room in the Decepticon army for more ground-based vehicles because you got like a whole team of military vehicles, a whole team of stuntic, the Stunticons. I feel like she could definitely give my last reviewed Shadow Strip a run for his money. I do. They are very much different cars for different styles of racing. I don't think these two kinds of cars ever actually compete against each other. Well, we can arm it. What else we can do? It rolls very nicely on four wheels. They did move the ports, which I'm not. I don't think I'm the. I don't know how I feel. They moved them to the sides instead of on the spoiler. I mean, I guess that's kind of subtle. I guess they blend in to the color scheme, so they kind of try and disappear. It is good to know that she's still number one, even in her alt mode, because we are number one. Because she is number one. And yeah, I can't think of much else. I am quite a fan of Crasher. It was a very nice excuse to check out a version of a mold I wanted to check out for a long time, and get it as a completely different character is very nice. So yeah, if you're looking out for Shadow Strip, also look out for Crasher. But where else can we go with GoBots? They definitely need to do Sidekill at some point. My GoBots knowledge is painfully limited, but I guess the main two, they have to do Sidekill at some point. I want to argue you could remold Wreck-Gar into Sidekill because they both do the arms grabbing the front tire of their motorcycle modes. I don't know, Scooter. Uh, I don't know much GoBots, but I definitely think there's more room in Transformers for GoBots. I'd be happy to see where they go because there's a third party company. Is it Action Toys? I think doing machine Robo essentially generations like Eagle Robo, Bike Robo. I think they've done Bike Robo twice because there's like the first one was Bike Robo, and it wasn't the best from what I understand. And then they sort of did like a masterpiece, much better version. You know, I don't know. Maybe Hasbro doesn't want to do it. Have they done a sports car Robo or whatever Crasher's machine Robo name was? I have no idea. I really should have looked it up first, but here we are. And here is the end of the review saying I am happy I picked up Crasher. Definitely recommend her. And I definitely think she would cause a lot of crashes in a race. But I guess I have one question. Why, for a race on an alien planet, like Velocitron, would you use an Earth vehicle? Like, wouldn't it make more sense to use the Cybertronian version? Like they're using so many of them are just Earthrise repaints, like the tow truck and the police car and like, this one and Shadow Strip. Like, why wouldn't you use that version of the mold just in these colors? Also, can a third party company make a more cartoon accurate head sculpt for this toy, please? I just want to see if they can capture the look, but I think I'm done rambling. So thank you for watching. I'm glad I don't drive because I would definitely crash a lot. I imagine. And until next time, keep it weird. Bye bye.